Hi everyone, welcome to the Vibe of Creative Organics session. So in the last couple of sessions, we had seen Gropital, we had seen Kringle.ai, and today we have an exciting pharma company, Kreative Organics. We had seen two startups, but today we're seeing a pharma company which is trying to innovate and transform how we look at the Indian pharma industry. So we have with us the team from Kreative Organics, and today, as with any DeepThought session, let's understand the voice of Kreative Organics through the people of Kreative Organics. So what are the great moments they've had in the company? What is the culture of the company like? How is the typical day at Kreative Organics like? So we'll directly hear it from the people from Kreative Organics. So my first question for the day. So my question to all of you here from Kreative Organics, what keeps you going at Kreative Organics? What motivates you to work every day at Kreative Organics?
Yeah, myself Prasad. So Creative is a journey. My journey started with Creative from 2017 onwards. So total I have 18 years experience. This is the company where I work for most of the time. So this is the fifth company to me. So I worked for this company more than 5 years. That's because of the procedures, systems we built. Even the small company, we are growing, and we are going to compete with the bigger MNCs with respect to quality systems. We are going to adapt, and we believe in the system that quality brings to the business, to the organization. So that's all.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Prasad. So you're saying the commitment to quality drives you at Creative every day.
Right.
Okay. Anyone else who wants to go in? What motivates you every day at Kreative Organics? What keeps you going?
See, I think a few things, Tarun, and this is Ravi. Hello, everyone. So quickly, a few things. One, obviously, is the opportunity itself. India is, I think, has created many stalwart pharma companies, and so there are a lot of great companies to look up to. And when we see ourselves, we see that there's no reason why we can't be one of them. So the drive to become one of the most recognizable and one of the most I think well-run, quality-focused pharma companies is one thing that drives us tremendously. And in fact, to Prasad's point earlier, we strongly believe that if you have a strong quality system, the business will follow. So that is something that we try and that sort of guides our decision-making process. Every time we face challenges, and that's one of the key values of Creative. One is openness and transparency, but I think one of the most important ones is focus on quality.
Yeah. Anybody else also want to come in?
Hi everyone, this is Venkatesh from Creative, and the most important thing for me is respect. The people who will work hard, definitely they will be respected and they will treat it very well. And what I felt to me, and it was very good experience with me Creative. So that, people will be identified. If you are really fit to that work, they will be encouraged to next level also. That is the most interesting thing in Kreative Organics. And one more thing is my managers and my next level, they will identify your problem without no need to tell you. So, sir, I'm suffering this problem. You no need to tell. Your manager will be identified how you are suffering. That level also here is there. Next, time sense. We have no time sense. First of all, we won't give any restrictions of time. If you are able to work, there is no time. You can work. And these are the few things more fascinating to me to work in Kreative Organics. Yeah, thank you.
Siva, I think this is your turn to tell. Siva?
Is he still there?
Hi everyone, this is Shiva. Actually, I have worked since last 3 years. I have learned so many things from our management and my superior also. and it is very good workplace to work here. Thank you.
Okay. So Ravi,
One more thing I want to add. Now Venkatesh and Shiva, actually they worked earlier with Creative, and again they rejoined after gaining some knowledge in the different companies. They are rejoined this organization.
Actually, we left from this
That
company.
give the impression that how they can able to easily re-entry to work with a good environment.
Correct, sir.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thanks for giving our opportunity.
so Ravi, I have a few questions for you. So my first question is, Ravi, what got you interested in floating an internship program and getting Gen Z into, Creative Organics?
See, I've always felt that, the younger generation is a remarkable generation. I mean, I have two young kids myself, and I see the kids of all my colleagues, the confidence, their drive and their passion, I think is unmatched. And, we're hoping that we can tap into some of that energy and, that rubs off on Creative, and, we can sort of be mutually beneficial to each other. But I think it's an incredible generation, and especially the Gen Z out of India. Just the sheer amount of exposure and the sheer amount of confidence these kids have is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I love it. I love being around that energy. So I think what better way than bring them in young and hopefully, teach them and learn from them in the process, right? So I think learning is one of, if you listen to all of our colleagues, one of the constant things that we talk about at Creative is to constantly learn and improve. But it's a two-way street. So their kids are going to be learning from us, and we want to learn a lot from the youngsters as well. So definitely, I think the energy of the younger lot is attractive to us.
So Ravi, I have another question. So when I look at the two internship opportunities that Creative has floated, one is of data science and the other of technical project management.
Correct. Yeah.
So you're trying to bring in the kind of project management rigor which we only see in the software industry into the Indian pharma industry, and you'd like to be a pioneer in bringing this kind of practices into the pharma industry. And when it comes to data science as well, I understand that you're trying to bring the power of data science to, transform the way you buy, the way you sell, and the way you keep a track of critical data of the industry itself. So why is it that you're interested in bringing this project management and data science approaches into pharma? So what got you this idea?
No, see, the thing is, the larger companies in India and abroad as well have strong project management practices. So it would be a little unfair to say that, we're the only ones that have, believe in project management. But we feel that project management can be done, maybe differently. And we have a few ideas on how that can be done and how that's relevant to the pharma space. And project management brings you efficiency, right? If done well, project management brings you efficiency, and efficiency helps you create value. So that's what we're looking at. So we want to create a high value company. And it's a journey. It's not something that happens overnight. It's a lot of effort, a lot of discipline that goes in and day out. But if you bring in discipline along with project management, the efficiency that compounds and the value that gets created, we feel is immense. So that's why project management is critical to us. It's something that we've already been doing in various parts of the organization, but we hope to make it a little more pervasive and more structured. So again, it's going to be a journey. It's not something that we have in place already. We have parts of it in place, but a lot of it needs to be developed, and it has to be customized to our values and our company. But yeah, so that's where we are. So I think the whole discipline and rigor that project management gives you is something that we feel will bring us a lot of value in the long run. So that's on the project management side. On the data side, we're really starting very small. The idea is to become more comfortable with data sciences. And like you alluded to earlier, we want to use data sciences initially primarily for selecting products, for identifying customers, for identifying suppliers, and those sorts of things. But eventually, over time, we are automating a lot of our plants, and we want to be able to use the data that's being generated in the plants to again make ourselves more efficient, and that's something that it's a challenge, because the manufacturing industry and data sciences, they're still there aren't external consultants that we can just go to and bring on board. There are a few of them, but for companies our size, we'd like to sort of understand that organically as well. And that's where I'm hoping that these data scientists that we bring on board, again, it's a long journey, and they have a long journey with us, and they take some of the skills we pick up together for less challenging problems, and hopefully we can grow that to much more challenging problems. Right? So it's really a seed for us now. But it's the time to plant that seed is now. Tarun, we can't hear you.
Yeah, thank you for the insight, Ravi. I think those are very challenging problems to be working at, and I'm sure for some youngsters to work on these problems very early in their career should be fantastic. But before moving into the challenges, before moving into the the harder areas, a question for everybody from Creative here. Maybe Ravi can go last, for the others first.
Actually, not at all. Let everybody else speak. I think that'll be better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite memory from Creative Organics, and why?
I think it's February 7, 2020.
Okay.
We completed ESFD audit after 2 months hard working. That is my memory.
Okay. Why is this your favorite memory, completing this audit?
The fruit of hard working.
Okay.
A little bit more context background there. See, Venkat was just new to the team then, and the US FDA audit is actually one of the most rigorous compliance audits in the world. And for a company of our size, it's not common to see people pass these kinds of inspections. So it was an amazing teamwork where we had some new people. Venkat was new then. Some older people all get together and really sort of bring in all of our skills to make it happen smoothly. So I can see why that's one of Venkat's favorite moments. There's a lot of challenge, a lot of hard work, but it was an amazing experience overall.
Yeah, thanks for the context, Ravi. Yeah. Would anyone else want to go in? What's your favorite memory and why?
Yeah, I can say every day is a memory in my 5 years journey with Creative. See, every day new learnings will be there, new challenges. We will overcome those challenges. Even we learn mistakes, and our goal is maybe that mistake cannot be repeated. So we have to learn from the mistakes and apply. There won't be any repeated mistakes. So obviously, it is everyday learning. Every day is a better moment to improve career-wise as well as organization growth-wise.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Prasad. Anyone else wants to share your favorite memory with Creative Organics?
And I think everybody should. I'm sure all of you have one favorite at least. And it doesn't have to be work. It could be anything. It could be, a time with your colleagues, whatever it is. Is that accurate, Tarun? Makes sense? Yeah, perfect.
Could be anything that you remember as a favorite memory.
My favorite moment is the problem solving. Whenever we got any problem, we used to sit together and discuss regarding the problem. Problem solving is one of the beautiful things here. We used to sit together and think on the problem, and the way we are thinking, the flow and planning, that is very good, enjoying during that time. And one more thing, coming to the parties, we used to celebrate birthday parties also. During that time also, we used to be very chill. That we used to enjoy.
Okay.
More Lokeshwari was to tell something.
Hi, I'm Lokeshwari. Yeah, my sweet memory and most memorable memory is Raksha Bandhan Day. Our COO asked us all girls to tie Raksha Bandhan so that they can explain their problems very like brotherlyhood and so that they can interact with the COO friendly, not as friendly, but as a brother, they can explain their problems to COO. That is my most memorable. I didn't see in any other company like this. That is my most memorable.
Nice.
Thank you, Bal sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Bhavin, sir.
That was very nice, Lokeshwari. Nice to hear that. Even I didn't know about this. I just found out now.
Okay. Who's going next with a favorite memory?
Shiva?
Sir,
He needs to be nudged.
I'm from my side. We can approach directly with our management. If any problem.
Memory, Shiva, not generally, but a memory. So a specific incident or something else, that it's memorable.
During a course of FDA, because we achieved successfully without 480 observations, we got 480 US FDA approved from. So that is one of the best memories.
Absolutely, yeah. So that was actually a very, challenging and it's a great learning opportunity for all of us, Tarun. So you'll probably hear that from a few of the people that have been here for a while. That would be very memorable, I think, for a lot of our colleagues.
So Ravi, my next question is for you. So could you take us through the data science bit? I mean, what is that vision you have on the data science front? How would you want to bring in data science into Kreative Organics, and what is it the interns will be doing there?
So to be honest, like I said, this is something that we want to learn a lot more about. So I don't really know how it's going to turn out eventually, but what I do know is that data is going to play a big part of our business across the entire organization. So right from sales to operations, we're going to be generating a lot of data. And, and especially, I think as time goes, the data itself is going to get more complex. Okay, so to be able to sort of understand that data and bring some meaning out of it will probably, I'm hoping, throw up new opportunities for Kreative from a sales standpoint as well as an operations standpoint. So again, the key is, we're always looking for ways to make ourselves more efficient. And we're hoping that if we can, and we always try and make data-oriented decisions. Even today in the organization, before we make a decision, before we have a discussion or a conversation, we try and collect as much data relevant to the topic at hand as possible. And then whatever decision we make has to be based on the data that we have in front of us. And the data should support us. So we know that, that if we can really automate some of these things, there is going to be maybe a lot more insights that we're not picking up now. And we're hoping that we can create efficiency and eventually value because of that. But so again, remember, these are just seeds. These are not something that we have a grand vision for yet. But as we learn more along with, the Gen Zs that come on board with us, we're hoping to, pick up certain themes that maybe we can expand on.
So Ravi, what is your expectation from these youngsters who are coming in mainly for the data science front, both from an innovation perspective and from a personality perspective? What kind of personality are you looking forward to, and what you're expecting from the innovation front?
See, the innovation front is something that innovation is actually a loose term, right? So what is innovative for me could be something that these candidates did at school already. So it could be something that they're already very familiar with. So, so for us, it's innovative because, it hasn't been done before in our context. So, but I'm expecting that it won't be, innovative per se from the tools available, tools used, or from the approaches used. It won't be innovative per se to the right candidate. For the right candidate, the innovation is going to come from applying those tools to a different problem set. So that's the kind of innovation that we're looking for here. So we're not initially going to try and create new tools and things like that. We'd like to use existing tools, but to our problem set. But over time, as we start, bringing in, data from our own manufacturing and operational system, maybe an IoT kind of integration of data, that's when we're going to see true innovation. So our goal is to get there eventually, but it won't start with that. It will end up along those lines. Okay. So that's on the innovation front. Does that sort of answer the question, Sarah?
Sure. I also would appreciate if you could elaborate a bit more on what is the freedom that these candidates would get to explore. What are the possibilities for them while they do this internship with Kreative Organics?
No, absolutely. See, they're going to have lots of freedom. Again, the whole point is that as far as data science goes, all of these candidates will know more than us. We're coming from a domain side, and we're essentially going to give you challenges. We're going to say, look, this is the sort of data that we have. Help us, extract value and meaning out of it. Right? And what kind of value and meaning we're looking for, it's going to, obviously, that guidance we'll give them. So we'll give them a problem statement. But, we expect the candidates themselves to sort of, use the knowledge and the tools that they've, become familiar with, and bring that to the problem at hand. So there's going to be a lot of freedom there, right? So, and it's not something that is, for a lot of our existing roles, there's a lot of structure. So we are a pharma company. So pharma companies tend to be very structured, right? Structured in the sense that there's very clear procedures of what to do, what not to do. Within the context of those procedures, there's a lot of freedom, but there's no freedom to go outside of it, which is actually a good thing. Because when you take medicines, you want to make sure that they're made properly and those sorts of things. But as far as data science for us goes, it's not a regular practice for us. So we won't have too much structure initially. But as with everything that we do, we try and systematize things. So we like systems thinking. So as we learn along with the candidates, we'll try and see if we can start systematizing the solutions that these candidates are giving us, these interns are giving us, and hopefully that becomes a part of our tool set as we sort of grow and build up this practice.
Sure. Thank you, Ravi. And regarding the personality bit, what kind of personality would you be looking forward to while hiring these young data scientists?
See, in general, for us, what's important is domain skills, data science skills. We're hoping that DeepThought can ensure that those skills are there. So that we'll sort of leave to you. But from a personality perspective, from a values perspective, we like people who have a high sense of integrity, because integrity is something which I think generally also is highly valued. But in the pharma space specifically, integrity is extremely important. So even if you listen to a lot of my colleagues, you'll hear them talk about discussing challenges and problems openly, right? The reason for that is because we don't want we understand that there are challenges and problems in any, anything that you're trying to do. We try and bring them out to the open. We try and support our team so that things are brought to the open. So, and with integrity. So we don't want people to hide things. So integrity is one of them. We like people who, are nice. You should be able to, we should be able to have a conversation. We don't want, politicking. We don't want those sorts of things. If those sorts of things happen, it's Creative is not the company for you. In fact, a lot of times it's a very flat organization. We can just, talk to each other. And I'm sure the rest of my colleagues will tell you that as well. But we try and keep things very simple. We don't like to complicate things more than what's required. So we like, nice people. We like people with integrity, and fun-loving people would be great. I think at the end of the day, if because things do get stressful, and even if you hear a lot of the rest of the team speak, we do work hard. It's a hardworking bunch of people, and because we're trying to grow so much, because we are sort of on a path which is an aggressive path, we do spend a lot of time. And so if you have people who are enjoying what they do, and I think it rubs off on everyone else. So fun-loving people, I think these are sort of the three big things that we look for.
Sure.
I might have missed a few, but I mean, off the top of my head, I think
Sure.
these are some of the things.
Yeah. Thank you for the answer, Ravi. I just wanted to add something for all the candidates who've applied for the.
But can we ask Balu Garu and Prasad Garu and I think Venkat and everybody else the same question?
Sure.
Even I want to hear what they say. It'll be interesting.
Sure.
Yeah, see, project management and data science is not new to the pharma industry, maybe. So we have certain tools applied by the different organizations where that data is useful. When company grows bigger size and they have multiple tasks to be performed, these analytics and project management give value-added things for their work culture. So even though small company Kreative, we established it internally. Right now we are following this by not with respect to what different project management tools these students are learning by specific courses. But a part of our day-to-day work culture, we have certain project management principles applied day-to-day work culture. And data analytics also utilized. See, these are limited tools we apply in our work area, and right now we are growing, and our goals are within 5 years we are going to a top 5 companies in India. To achieve that phase of growing, we need younger people who are familiar with this project management and data analytics, which those subjects are part of their graduations. They can apply their new learnings in the work area. If they can understand maybe theoretically they know this project management, how it will work. They might have done the case studies. When they come for this creative organization, they may be familiar that whatever they learned, those concepts are already available in Kreative. So when we are going, one man or certain limited people can't take entire activity, because of the team has to focus on their respective core areas. So we need other human resources support who are familiar with those concepts, project management as well as data analytics. So with that thought process,
personality-wise, Prasad, personality-wise, what kind of personality do you think?
Personality-wise, who is eager to learn new things, apply their thought process, whatever they have learned, which is giving the better results, and even critical situation, how they have to act immediately and resolve the issues. Those type of candidates will give the value added to the organization, as well as get proper recognition from the organization to enhance their career growth.
Perfect, Prasad. Perfect. Next, Balu Garu. What kind of personality?
Same expressed by Prasad and you were same kind of people we are looking for. So very kind and very we're looking for. Very kind and enthusiasm, the kind of people we're looking for.
Absolutely. Enthusiastic, learning.
Learning.
Nice. Yeah. I think you got a few good adjectives there, Tarun. So definitely enthusiastic. We want learners. We want nice people. No, we want people with high integrity.
Yes. Anything from Shiva?
Siva and Venkatesh,
Venkat?
Lokeshwari. What kind of colleagues would you like to have?
Yes, Prasad sir and Banu sir said, we need the transparent people first, and they should be very honest, and they should be very humble. That's what we require. That then other things will happen as usual.
Okay, good.
I have one question for all of you, especially the ones who've been with Kreative Organics for quite some time now. What is the change you've seen in the company over the years? What is the change you've seen, and what is it that has not changed? If you can tell us both.
Not changed, I can say that family work culture is we can treat every employee as a part of creative family. Whatever they have the problems, immediately that we address. That won't change, even it is a new employee, day one employee, or it is a long-term employee with creative. That applies to the all employees. That's for not change. What I observed from day one to as on date.
So you were with Kreative for 18 years, you mentioned, right?
Sorry?
You were with Kreative Organics for 18 years, you mentioned.
5 years, Tarun. 5 years.
5 years.
5 years.
5 years, but this is the organization I worked for more time compared to other organizations. Those companies are bigger than the Creative, but yeah.
Sure. Anybody else, if you want to share what didn't change and what changed over time?
I have worked more than 3 years here, Creative. I have not seen my management also from day one onwards till now worked with us closely, and they are supporting in every matter, and they are respecting to the quality matters. That I was not seen any changes.
And what changes have you seen? Any changes last few years? It could be anything, sir. I mean, again, the whole point is to have a unfiltered, open conversation.
Yes,
So,
sir. My organization was extended to the other location like Vizag also. We have introduced more than 2-3 facilities here. So that was I was seeing.
Yeah. There's a lot of growth has been happening, Tarun. So we have 2 new plants that have been added to the fold, and so consequently, there's a lot of work that comes with that. But I'll let the rest of the team talk now. But yeah, that's the point that I think Siva is trying to make, which is a valid point, Siva. But Venkat, what about our digitization and things like that? Changes, bringing in more structure, bringing in more software, trying to automate. Venkatesh, either of you can talk to that.
Day to day, we are increasing our facilities and we are improving our procedures according to how we are working day to day life, and we are complying to the regulatory auditors, and we are improving ourselves day to day. Not I can't say not what is today. It will not be tomorrow. We are improving ourselves.
Can you give some specifics? Venkatesh? What changes, improvements have you?
Say from last years we don't have SAP. Now we have SAP introduced. We are improving our systems now. It is more stringent. Coming to the documentation, we are improving GMP Pro. Very few companies are implementing GMP Pro. And in that Creative also, one of the company, we are implementing GMP Pro software for handling the QMS activities. And work-wise, it will be very sophisticated. And further, we are going for paperless project also. Next, we will implement. And it will be very good and very transparent.
Absolutely.
And, next, no changes. When I worked from last 3 years, what management, how way they received. Same way, till now they are receiving me. That is what I felt very good. And peoples are very smooth, very good. And these two words are big, very calm, cool, and they will respect your ideas. One of the beautiful things is they will respect our ideas, they will encourage, they will give support. This is what I felt in my career in Kreative Organics.
Fantastic.
This is no change, Tarun sir. But I worked in last 3 years, they have respected my ideas till now also. Same thing was continued also, to be said. What I implemented, same thing also till now it is going. It is feel very happy to me also.
Absolutely. Just two broad trends, Tarun, just to make sure that it's been captured properly. So we are going through, because we're growing so much, we're obviously trying to systematize things a lot more, especially through software. So we have now SAP for our finance, ERP, and those sorts of things. And we have a product called GMP Pro for our quality management. So again, even today, if you go to a lot of large companies, everything is pen and paper based, but we've actually automated it. And it's a third-party software, and that's also integrated with SAP. So that is one point that Venkatesh has made, which is a very valid point. And the second point is that, we feel that the team should be not just a bunch of bodies, but essentially a bunch of brains, right? So we want everybody to contribute, not just a pair of hands, but actually, something which is much more powerful, which is ideas. And that's why, and that's the point that Venkatesh is alluding to. And I think that is one thing that we'll continue to do, because we want to attract the brightest kids who have a passion and love for chemistry. So like I said earlier, we want to learn from them as well. So we want ideas from people that sort of join our team. But thanks, Venkatesh. That was nice. That was a nice sort of.
Thank you.
So Ravi, I have a question for you here. So I understand you were working in the IT industry and then you moved into pharma, right? So what was your early experience of moving into the pharma from tech? I mean, did you experience a cultural shock, and what keeps you going in pharma now?
So the thing is, and not just tech to pharma, but I was working for tech in the US, and then I moved to pharma in India. So it was it was a big change that way. But it's also a family company. It's a company that my father started almost 32 years ago. So it's a company that's always been close to our heart. So there's no surprises. So I knew what I was getting into, because we saw it grow from right in front of our eyes. And Dad, who's the chairman of the company, is an incredible human being, but he's also a very, very smart individual. So he was at Caltech in the US. He was with NASA, and then he was at the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research in India. So he's a person who brings not just high caliber ideas to the table, but he also brings a strong work ethic, and and he gives us a lot of guidance. And I think so I knew what I was getting myself into from that perspective. But there is obviously going to be a culture shock, So in IT, you're sitting in an AC room in front of a computer, and you're sipping cappuccinos for your meetings. But pharma is not going to be like that. You're at plants, right? So you're going to be getting your hands dirty sometimes, which which is why you need to have that love for the space. We don't want people for whom this is a backup. I didn't get into IT, I didn't get into Infosys, let me join whatever comes my way. We don't want those kinds of people, because they won't enjoy it. At the end of the day, if the candidate enjoys what they're doing, their output and their contribution will be a lot more.
So, sir, Ravi, let me ask you, what do you enjoy, over the last 2 decades here in the pharma industry?
No, see, the thing is, one is I always enjoy challenges. I like learning new things. So from that perspective, I've had a lot to learn. So the whole learning curve for me has been amazing. And two is, we have an amazing set of colleagues, and there's a lot that I learn from them every day. I love interacting with them. And I hope that I can sort of, show them the light in terms of what kind of opportunity Kreative is sitting on. And I think that's one thing I always strive to do. And that for me, that's hugely enjoyable. I love to read a lot, and I love to, translate what I read into action, and the team is very patient with me when we try out a lot of new things and talk about a lot of new things. But yeah, I mean, the team is fantastic, and I think we get along really well, and we try and sort of, do things steadily, but also, try enough new ideas so that we're always sort of growing and reaching outwards.
So I have another question. I think today most of Indian youngsters are interested in the IT industry, but then I think there's a huge opportunity for pharma in India, and also a huge responsibility for the pharma industry in India. And I think Telangana is doing great on the pharma front as well. So sometimes, I mean, most of your friends are in the IT industry, right? And you're here in the pharma industry. So what would you tell your friends in the IT industry? What are they missing out on?
No, see, they're missing out on doing. IT industry is very abstract, right? So a lot of it is abstract. It's not programming. I mean, to a certain, it depends on what you're doing, but you do see output for what you do. So you have a software program that works, you get a nice kick out of it. But here, imagine yourself, you have the challenge of manufacturing something which is complicated. You take it from basic raw materials and you bring it to a stage where it has value therapeutically. And, and just to give one example, my dad had a bypass surgery about 3-4 years ago. 3 years ago, actually, over 3 years ago. And a lot of the medicines that were given to him post-surgery were actually medicines that we made at Kreative. So, and we talk about this to our team as well. I mean, just the sheer pride that you have when you see something like that, your own, father who's been giving some of these medicines. My mom takes some of the medicines, not because they made it Kreative, but because the doctors recommended them to her, and they happen to be made by a company that buys our API. So that kind of kick is a little different. It's a nice kick to have. Which it's not that you don't get it in IT. You also get a lot of joy if somebody goes to Amazon and buys a product and you say, I built something for Amazon. But it's different.
Sure. So on a different note, I'd like to just set some context for all the youngsters who are applying for the data science opportunity at Kreative Organics. So at DeepThought, we were floating this data science internship. So I'm an alumnus of ICER Pune, and a lot of my batchmates have been getting into data science right now. And one big problem globally when it comes to data science, Ravi, is I think a lot of data scientists punch in their code, but they have no idea what happens within that function. They look at the function like a black box, right? So that's when DeepThought thought, because of a commitment to philosophy and our commitment to pure sciences, we thought it's important for us to change data science, to change how the world is looking at data science. And globally, we all know the demand for data science. I mean, companies are willing to spend a lot, but they're just not getting good data scientists. So that's when we thought it's important to float a good data science program. And when Ravi said we're looking for data science people, I was super excited about this opportunity, because here we're not doing data science in a traditional context, right? In a pharma context, we're trying to understand how, this is actually not just data science, but it's operations research and data science that Ravi is talking of, where you look at the way in which you're producing these pharmaceuticals, and you bring in interesting questions, right? I mean, you understand the grander story, you bring in interesting questions, and then you use the power of data science to answer those questions and optimize the processes. So I think for somebody who's going to be learning data science in the Kreative Organics context, perhaps that person will have a richer learning, because you'll be forced to pay attention to the story. Ashwath Damodaran, who's a world authority of finance, he says it's much easier to teach numbers to the person who understands narratives than to teach narratives to the person who just understands numbers. So if you're just somebody who blindly punches around mathematical equations and so on, perhaps doing data science, teaching data science to such a person could be tough. But if you're somebody who understands the story, who understands the business, teaching data science, teaching maths shouldn't be so difficult. I mean, as a mathematics student, whenever someone says maths is tough, I feel bad. But I'm sure at DeepThought we can help you with the math and data science. But what we'd like to understand is, are you passionate about real world problem solving? And I'm sure Ravi has tons of problems which the company has aggregated over the last 32 years of consistent innovation. So having you guys learn data science from DeepThought and implement all that data science in Kreative Organics, I think should be a fantastic journey. As far as technical mentoring is concerned, I'm sure DeepThought has been teaching, philosophy, mathematics for quite some time now. We've got fourth graders to handle some very technical topics, so that shouldn't be a problem. But I think what we're really looking for is somebody who, as Ravi said, somebody who comes not because I desperately want a data science internship and Creative is giving, so I take it, but somebody who enjoys chemistry, somebody who enjoys the problems which Creative is working. And I'm sure you all have seen the kind of encouraging CEO Ravi is, the way he's been pushing his team to, speak. I'm sure for a lot of them here, speaking is not their strongest suit, but Ravi has been nudging all of them to come out and express themselves, and he's confidently put his team forward and ensure that everybody has got a chance to speak. So I'm sure we all can see that if you work with this person, how he would treat everyone, around him. And as you must have gathered, it was a no filters conversation where people were allowed to speak whatever they could speak. And I'm sure you guys must have gathered that there was no preparation which went into this meeting, right? I'm sure you could see all the bloopers in this meet, and that this is not staged, right? So on that note,
one big point.
Yeah.
My team actually speaks a lot. So they're not used to speaking on Zoom maybe, but when we're all in person, again, it's a no filters conversation. We try and encourage it to be a no filters conversation. So yeah. So just a quick side note, but go ahead. Yeah,
sure.
Go ahead.
So now we'd love to have your questions. I'm sure you heard a lot of ideas. So yeah, all the applicants, you have some questions for Ravi and team from Kreative Organics. We'd love to take your questions. Please unmute yourself and ask your question. Yeah, please go ahead with your questions.
We're all waiting. We want to see what you thought. So yeah, please. So I mean, is everybody here? Are they from a chemistry sort of background? Is that was that filter applied, Tarun? It's out of curiosity.
No. So we said we prefer people from a chemistry background, but then we've taken in applications from different people.
Got it. So all of you, I just told Tarun that you're all high energy. So I want to see some energy and some questions. So that's what is interesting about the Gen Z to all of us. So please, you'll have to unmute and ask. I see a few people talking, but I can't hear you.
Yeah, please go ahead with your question. You all sent in a lot of questions in the morning. So yeah, please go ahead and ask.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, was it Srikanth?
Yes.
Yeah, please go ahead with your question, Srikanth.
Yeah, do you provide any learning sessions for your employees, like to become the next leaders?
Not necessarily to become the next leaders. I think it's not as targeted as that, but there is a lot of learning and training that happens inside of Creative, Srikanth. But the whole point is that we do groom people to be leaders, and that's sort of the kind of people that we want. In fact, a lot of times when we speak internally, when we discuss with the managers, we tell them you're not managers, you're leaders. So we want the thought process to be that of leadership. So it's not, we believe less in sort of just management, more in terms of leading. And by that, I mean, giving the right context, letting people make mistakes, letting people sort of, step up. Those sorts of things are something that we encourage. And in the process, yes, we do see leadership inculcated. And that's something that, we hope to formalize at some point. We're a little small for that now. So you have a lot of mind share from a lot of the senior team. And it's done maybe as a byproduct. But at the right time, yeah, we will look to sort of institutionalize that.
Okay. Thank you, Srikanth. Anybody else who has a question, please unmute yourself and go ahead with it.
And when you do ask, just tell us your name and what your background, maybe which university, college you're from, what you studied.
Okay. Hello, sir. My name is Soumya Nagar. I have completed my master's in industrial engineering and management, and my bachelor's in chemical engineering.
Excellent. You
How-
still like you like chemistry, you like chemical engineering, you want to be a part of that?
Not chemistry particularly. Majorly, I like the industrial part. That's
Okay.
why I've done my master's in industries and
Sure.
I've applied for the role of technical project manager.
Got it.
Okay. So my question is, you chose such different process, the selection process by this deep thought observation thing. Why, sir?
No,
This is something different from other companies. That's why I'm asking.
true. And see, the whole idea, Soumya, is that finding aptitude is sometimes less challenging than finding people with the right attitude. Okay, so you understand aptitude. Aptitude is maybe technical skills, those sorts of things. But attitude, having, like Shrikant was alluding to earlier, leadership, wanting to be a leader, stepping up, loving what you do, and having the attitude to make things work. Those are hard to find in a traditional interview. So this process allows us to see what kind of attitude the person has. And for us, we feel that with the right basics, have the right attitude, you can work wonders. I hope that answered your question, Soumya.
Thank you.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Can I ask something?
Of course.
Dhruv, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I would like to ask, sir, how are you going
So,
to...
first, introduce yourself, please.
Okay, sir. So my name is Dhruv, and I'm pursuing an integrated master's degree, which is BTech and MTech in biotechnology. So currently I'm in my 9th semester of the final year itself. And yeah, so that is basically about me.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yes, sir. So I wanted to ask how are you going to, help us maybe groom in this journey with you, as in emotionally, when pharma is concerned, we have vigorous work pressure, work environment, which is very fast paced, and it has to involve a good level of emotion quotient. So I think how are you going to help us through this journey? That is my question.
See, if you go back to the conversation that we had, one is that there is very little sort of things that you can do formally to give you support, right? It's at the end of the day, you're going to be working with a team. But we feel that if you have the right team in place, people who are nice, people who are of high integrity, people who are maybe fun to be around with, people who like learning, people who are transparent, everything that sort of the team discussed earlier, that environment is sufficient for you to be emotionally secure in. And once in our organization, and I think it was Venkat who mentioned it earlier, we don't mind people making mistakes. We just don't want the same mistake to be repeated, right? And we encourage you to be open. And when you have that kind of environment, the emotional support is there. It's not institutionalized, but it's there in the culture. And which is why having people that come on board who appreciate that is also so important. Because the culture is very hard to build. It's very easy to destroy. Okay, so if you have the right people who fit into this culture, we feel that it makes you emotionally more stable and gives you a lot of support, because you're absolutely right. It is a challenging environment. It's a high pressure environment. So which is why you need to want to be a part of it, right? So if you don't want to be a part of it, you're not going to enjoy it. And if you're not going to enjoy it, you're not going to be able to contribute, right? And you won't get the most out of it as well. It'll just be something that you do, and you won't get anything out of it. It's just time wasted for everyone. So there's no point doing that, right? So I hope I answered your question, bro.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. Myself, Ridham. I am BTech AI/ML student, and I want to ask you that means what type of data engineer you want. Like in the task you have given, it's only Excel data sorting and nothing more. But it's, data science is more, is like prediction and else. But only data sorting is not like, I can't explore more if it's the only task. So I want to ask that if we have to do more work or just only that Excel spreadsheet work.
So Rhythm, again, to be completely honest with you, initially it is going to be probably work that is going to be fairly simple for you, right? In terms of, since you've had formal training in data science. But the way we see it is that this is just a seed that we're planting now, which, we have to see how it grows, because some of these concepts are new to us as well. And I think once you come into the organization, there's going to be some learnings that we learn from you also. And that will help us pick more challenging problems from a data science standpoint. But to answer your question, we are moving towards automation in a big way. So if you heard the team speak earlier, we already have SAP implemented. We have GMP Pro implemented. We're also going to be bringing in automation on the manufacturing side. And that will probably happen not immediately, but after about 3 years or so. Once that happens, there is going to be a lot of very sophisticated data science, opportunities for a lot of sophisticated data science. So we want this opportunity to be, we're being a little sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? We're being a little, maybe greedy is not the right word, but we're also being a little greedy in this. We want to learn from you as well, right? And we want our eyes to be open to see what kind of opportunities exist for data science in an industry like ours.
So Ravi, if I may add to this, I think Kreative Organics needs some youngsters with a lot of patience.
Correct.
And I believe that patience will come from love for chemistry and wanting to be in pharma industry. And the perks of being patient initially, are that you're not just being a data scientist, but I think you get the opportunity of being an institution builder who's building a data institution for Kreative Organics, right? So what I mean by building a data institution is you come in at a stage when, the whole idea of data is at a very nascent stage. You're getting your hands dirty with some simple stuff, technically simple, but I think you're soaking yourself inside the business context, right? Where you're trying to appreciate pharma, you're trying to appreciate what is the core problem here, right? And once you get your hands dirty, within 2 months, I think you'll sort of get a little comfortable with how things are going. Then you'll probably, understand, okay, these are the high value problems I want to look at. And then you may want to go into your mathematics and go into what the models you want to build and how you want to be, approaching them. And Kreative Organics is also engaging some fantastic mentors who are going to be, working with you. But that's at a later stage once we model the problems around us, because I think it's very important for us to get a sense of, what we're trying to do. And Rhythm, let me add a little context.
That's beautifully put, Tarun, actually, absolutely. So beautifully put, Rhythm, because see, and this is what I was saying earlier as well. The tools and things like that are things that you're already familiar with. I mean, we're not going to have initially something very fancy, but I think what we will give you is we're going to give you a sense of real world business problems in the pharma domain, which is at a nascent stage. So if you can learn things here and come up with interesting ideas, the world is your oyster. There's just going to be so many opportunities.
So,
but sorry, Tarun, go ahead. I cut you off.
Yeah. I mean, so Rhythm, at DeepThought itself, right? We are now implementing data science after about, 6 months of effort, which we put in terms of understanding what are the problems we want to be looking at. And so I think from that context, I can tell you that the people who were with us in the formative years, I think they have a deeper understanding of the problems on hand. And they understand how we brought the data in. But the people who are going to be joining us right now, when we start doing data science, I think would miss out on that entire experience of building something from the scratch. So if you're there in Kreative Organics right from the beginning, I think bringing in data science, the advantage is you understand how we went about that entire thought process of what data do we collect, what data do we look at, right? Why do we look at this data and so on? It's going to be not all exciting work. Some of it would be boring, as in any innovation. But the perks of hanging around there is that you don't just learn data science, you learn systems level thinking, as Ravi said, the very fond of systems thinking, and how do you operate at the level of systems, processes, and data. In a typical data science internship, you might be learning only data. But here, I think the process level thinking and systems level thinking is something you would learn. And I don't want to connect this to technical project management as well. Soumya, Srikanth, I think you guys applied for technical project management. So Ravi mentions that this is more about process management than project management. So I think it'll be a very deep level learning, because you'll be learning a lot of ideas, a lot of processes. And again, as Ravi said, right, he enjoys implementing all of what he has learned and putting things to practice. Perhaps that's the experience you guys will have too, right? Learning a lot of things and then immediately putting them into practice and learning them even better, because the best way to learn is to implement what we've learned, right? So on that note, I think we'd like to conclude this session. And as in every vibe session at DeepThought, we'd like all of you to tell, how are you feeling right now? In one sentence, how are you feeling right now?
Let's ask the candidates first. Then we'll ask the team.
Actually, sir, I like the energy of Ravi, sir. Sir, he, like, when he's talking, it's like very exciting. Means I want to work with him.
Thanks, Rhythm. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to work with Creative Organics.
So Soumya, how are you feeling right now?
Very excited.
Okay.
Good, Soumya. Thank you.
Even I feel very excited.
Yes, I am.
To start working.
Thank you, Srikanth.
Yes, I am also very excited to hear Ravi sir, because he is very energetic till now. Yeah.
Who is that? That's Ujjwal, is it?
Till now, he's very.
Thank you, Ujjwal. But actually, you should be more excited about the team. I think I just talk a little bit more than everybody else, but they're the ones who do. You're going to be learning a lot from them. Balu Garu, Prasad Garu, so Venkat, Venkatesh, Shiva, Lokeshwari. They're just, they're all, as you've seen, they're very, very open and transparent. But yeah, but thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. Anybody else who'd like to say something, please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. So my name is Shelja. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, Shelja, we can. Yeah.
So, sir, I'm currently pursuing MA in political science, and the whole discussion we had on data science is a bit different for me, because this is not my domain of interest, but still, sir, I got to know a lot about it. But sir, what really integrated me was your concept on project management, that how it can work efficiently for an organization. And the point you mentioned that being disciplined, how can we get discipline through project management in any organization? So, sir, these 2 points were they took my attention, and so I wish you get right candidate. And I also like your team members. They are really humble and down to earth, and we can see a very amicable bond among them. So, sir, glad to meet you here, and everyone, your team member. We are really happy to meet them.
Thank you so much, Sailaja. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Anybody else wants to go in? How are you guys feeling right now? Okay. So maybe over to Team Creative Organics. So how are you feeling right now?
Yeah, good. I can add that internship is not new to the creative organization. In the small organization, we have given the opportunities as an intern to the fresh graduates, and we paid stipend during their intern. Even though their work is means to understand what's happening in the pharmaceutical industry, and we have considering their work, they understand the systems. If they are willing to work for the creative, we have hired some of the interns part of a creative family. So it's not new, but the thing is, whatever we are looking for this project management and data analytics, those things are with this DeepThought channel may new to us, and we may focus on other areas, not only project management and data analytics.
Absolutely.
Which will add some other levels based on the organization needs. It's a good channel to interact with graduates. So apart from this site, before joining, they can able to understand what creative culture is, and if they have any certain questions, so they can get clarified before entering to the creative site itself, where there is this type of opportunity not there the earlier intents. Now this may give the means fruitful discussions between the company as well as who are willing to work for organization. Thank you, Tarun, for arranging this good section with the right candidates.
Yeah, we're glad you had this interaction, Prasad. So anybody else from creative team, how are you feeling right now? How are you feeling right now talking to the Gen Z? Yeah, how are you feeling right now?
Very excited. Yeah.
Sorry.
We are very excited. This type of internship discussions first time for my 20 years career. Thank you, Tarun, for this good opportunity. And guys, we look forward to working with us. Yeah. All the best to all of you.
So yeah, over to you, Ravi. How do you feel right now? After this.
Hey, energized. It's so nice to talk to, all of these soon-to-be grads, and I think it'll be nice if some of them have enjoyed this and some of them come and sort of work with us, and we build a long-term sort of relationship. I would love that. Nothing more than that would be amazing if you could do that.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for joining us, and this is a lovely discussion listening to a pharma company which is actively been innovating and is looking to bring in the power of project management and data science to solve some very exciting problems. And we really hope that some of the youngsters benefit from this opportunity and bring in a difference to the Indian pharma industry. Thanks a lot, everyone. That's it from DeepThought for today.